So, you say you're ready to buy a home this year, 2022. It's right around the corner, guys, and I want to make sure that you guys are ready to go to buy a home this year, 2022. Now, it's right around the corner. As I'm doing this video, it's December 28th. Yes, 28th. So I want to make sure you guys have everything you need to make sure you can get yourself into a home this year. So what we're going to do is go over 3 things that I see on my day-to-day, things that I go over with my personal clients, as well as just people that ask me questions of what to do, for them buying a home. Before we do any of that, make sure that if you get any value of this video, make sure you subscribe. So if you see that little red button below you in your phone, on your screen, wherever you see it, make sure you subscribe so we can make sure we keep making videos like this as long as you get value out of it. But again, my name is Nat Ramirez with eXp Realty. If you guys are here in San Antonio, make sure you reach out. If you're not, doesn't matter, make sure you reach out. We'll make sure we can get you taken care of. Let's get to it. So first thing you need to do, just to make sure that you're ready to buy a home this year, 2022, or pretty much any year really, is making sure that you know when you're looking to move into your new home. So pretty much what I see a lot is people reaching out to me and making sure that they can get in by a certain specific day. What you're wanting to do is really game plan it. So if you're really thinking to move in, let's say today is December 28th, and you're wanting to make sure that you can move into a home, and you tell me, Nat, I need to move in by January 31st. You know how tough that's gonna be to make sure to get you into that house? Really tough. Even in rentals, sometimes it's really difficult to get you into homes like in that speed. But when it comes to buying a home, it takes a lot more than what you think. First, we want to make sure that you get qualified. That could take a day, 2 days. It just really depends on how fast you move. The next thing is going to be able to find you a home that you feel comfortable in. So that's going to be already a week, 2 weeks to get you in and situated, and making sure we can find you something that you guys feel comfortable and that your family will love. What I see on average, really just depending on how picky you are sometimes, is making sure that we can get you home within 30 days. Now keep in mind, that's us taking the time to find you that home. The next thing is actually going under contract and then getting to close on that home once you're under contract. That could be another 30 to 45 days. It just really depends. Sometimes what's gonna stop you from basically moving in a lot sooner is just the little things that we do as buyers, or let's say, in the process as for buying a home. That can be taking our time with documents, as well as appraisals, inspections, and things like that in detail. That's pretty much what you're gonna be seeing that's gonna hold you back and getting you into your home by January 30th, kind of like what we're thinking about. The one thing that we want to make sure is that if you do have a lease that's going to expire on a set day, is making sure that we get things done in a timely manner, but also not do it to the point where pretty much you're going to be left with not only getting your home sooner, which is going to be great, right? Because you have your own home already and it's done deal. But now what you're going to have to think about or deal with is to see pretty much if you decide, let's say, to not necessarily break your lease, or they're going to be asking you to pay a certain amount on top of what you're going to do for your down payment and things of that matter, is going to be paying, like I said, that basically to get yourself out of the lease. That's going to be another expense you don't want to make, or let's say don't want to have, especially because you're pretty much putting all your eggs in one basket and being able to buy a house. So my recommendation typically for the person that's looking to buy a home is make sure that you speak to an agent, myself preferably, right, if you're in town. But if not, speak to the person that you feel closest to or more comfortable to agent-wise, and game planning it. Make sure, guys, that you have plenty of time, not only to get you approved and get your approval, make sure that you find the house that you feel more comfortable in, and that's a great deal for you. Being able to get you pretty much everything situated before your lease ends, or at least with adequate time to make sure that we can get you into your home without having too much of a time either over or under, because that's what's going to be a little bit tough. If you get in a little bit later, there's always things that we can do to accommodate. And once we get there, we can always find a way around it. But that's number one. Make sure that you know when you're looking to move in to your new home. Now let's go to the next one, which is another thing that I tell people that they gotta really think about. And this is, are you prepared for the market? The market as it is now. So the market is not the same in the most cases. Pretty much what you've been seeing, I'm pretty sure, if you're looking to buy a home, you've been keeping an ear out, an eye out to how the market is going up, it's going down, things of that matter. What we've been seeing here in town pretty much is a lot of competitiveness when it comes to really nice homes or really well-priced homes. So what you're going to be thinking about is if you're ready. In that sense, what I'm trying to talk about is you already have your down payment, and a lot of people, as soon as they get the amount for their down payment, so if they tell you you're looking at, let's say, a loan for $250,000, typically on a conventional loan, 3 to 5%, depending on credit. Let's say round it out, $250,000, 5% of that, that's $12,500. A lot of people are like, well, I got that. That should be fine. I should have more than enough to make sure we can get into the house. Yes, on a perfect deal, yes. But most cases in this market, what we're gonna be looking at, guys, is not only you paying your down payment, but now, since it's gonna be a little bit more competitive for you guys, you may come out of pocket when it comes to your closing costs. It really just depends on the home you're looking at and the type of deals that we're going to be doing as agents for you guys. So what you're going to be doing is making sure that not only do you have the down payment, but also have a little bit more to basically be competitive in this market. I'm not saying every deal is the same. I'm not saying every house is the same. And when it comes to you paying your down payment, there's different programs and that kind of stuff that what you're going to be looking at. But what I can tell you this from right now, guys, FHA, I've seen that when it comes to multiple offers, most of those are going to be the ones that people overlook. I don't know why. Well, I kind of know why, but at the same time, even though it may not be the right reasons, a lot of people prefer other types of loans. To each their own, right? But personally, if you have enough money to basically back up who your credit looks like or whatever, that's what's going to help us get you that home. And of course, making sure that we can get you something that it's a great deal. We're not going to try and put you into something that it's not to your benefit, guys. Me personally, I just don't find it right. But at the end of the day, it just depends on who you're working with. So always make sure that you have a little bit extra just in case. Personally, in this market, it's always best to have a little bit more, because that's going to give you a lot more leverage. So that's number two, being prepared for the market. Now the next one is huge, guys. Huge, because I tell people all the time, when it comes to affordability, can you afford the house? Not that you can qualify for it, but can you afford it? A lot of times, pretty much just to cut to the nitty gritty of it, is that if they tell you that you can qualify for a home of $300,000, doesn't mean that you should go and max out your loan. Pretty much what you got to make sure is that you can afford it. That's exactly the whole point for this third one. Can you afford it? So the way I break it down is, let's say you make, roughly about on gross $5,000 monthly. So a lot of people make this amount, right? $60,000 a year, $5,000 monthly gross. Now, once taxes are taken out, I'm running a little calculator here, and it shows me about $4,173, pretty much what you would be netting. At this point, what you're going to be looking at is what you have for your debt to income ratio. So pretty much on average on a conventional loan, what I've seen is about 50%. So 4173, once you actually let's say you take out or reduce your car payment, let's say on average it's $550. It can be higher, it can be lower. On average it's $550. Let's say you pay, out of credit cards, things like that, about $100. what you're looking at is about 35.23 if I'm right. Now if you do the debt to income ratio, that puts you pretty much at 1761 and 50 cents. So basically what it's telling you is that your best affordability is to stay under that 1760 a month, which is awesome if you think about it, because at this point you're going to be putting yourself in a price point, you know, about here in San Antonio that I can think about 250 to 260, let me see, just depending on interest and of course your scores. Like I said, I was able to put up some info here. Give me a second, a little calculator. 3.5 interest is just rounded out. You're looking at about 1766, and it just really depends on the area that we're going to be looking at, as well as other factors. But roughly what you're looking at is a price point of 250 and under with that payment. So I mean, it's not a bad home, and it's not going to be a bad opportunity. The things that you got to make sure is that you stay realistic to what you're going to be affording. Not because it tells you that you can go for 300 means go for 300. What you're going to be looking at is if you can afford it. Because keep in mind, guys, it's not just a house payment. It's going to be all the other payments that you have as well. Not only that, if you have a family or even just as a single person buying a home, you want to make sure you have enough to save for the next investment or the next thing that you're looking to buy. Maybe even a trip. You never know. But it's always best to make sure that you can afford a home instead of, you know, living basically just how a lot of times I say it is going house broke. You know, you go max out on all your money goes into your house, but now you have no money to go even buy a burger, which now there's no dollar burger, so it wouldn't work. So basically, guys, what I want to make sure is that you guys understand, aside from the typical tips that everybody tells you, you know, you got to make sure your credit's good, make sure your income's good. Think about the other things that are outside of your norm, right? Making sure that you're ready to go, looking to move in by a certain date. It like I said, it really makes no sense if you're looking to buy, you know, by 6, 7, 8 months, end of the year 2022. We shouldn't even be talking at this time. We should be getting prepped and getting ready and making sure the money's right. You know, being prepared for the market, just making sure that you prepare mentally for going into multiple offer situations. Simple as that, man. I mean, there's really not much to it. And also making sure that you can afford the home. Guys, I cannot stress this one a lot more than I am already, because I see it every day. Not because you're told that you can go for it, means that you should go for it. All right? It's really, really simple, but it's gonna help you make sure you make the best decisions for you, your family, and also for future investments. That's it, guys. So what I want to make sure is that you can take these tips, put them into practice, and if you want more details on, you know, other tips, like, you know, pretty much like I mentioned already, you're going to be able to see other videos on my playlist, as well as other videos around here somewhere. You'll see them, I'm sure. But make sure you subscribe, guys. That way I can keep giving you content like this, helping you guys make the right decisions in real estate. Thank you so much again, guys. Nat Ramirez, I'm out. Bye-bye.